Welcome, everybody, to another session of Boston Concessions. I'm your host, Topher. I'm going to bring you a rundown for about the next hour and a half, maybe more, depends upon how I rant, and also depends upon how everything goes. First off, welcome in. I had a little bit of a difficulty, so please pardon my 5 minutes of lateness. Yeah, I know I suck. Oh my god. Everybody and everyone blame me for whatever's going on. I'll take the responsibility in the world. I won't take responsibility for certain things. I will not also take responsibilities for a lot of others. But there's going to be a good amount of stuff that actually comes out of my throat hole today. And hopefully it brings something of joy and otherwise. I have comments waiting at the ready. I also have to kind of get... I usually try to have X up while I'm live streaming, so this way everything at least shows. So we'll see at least how that goes. Ah, there it is. Woo! All right. So hopefully everybody's having a wonderful weekend. There are two topics before I get into the smorgasbord of crapola. And I am going to be introducing a new segment. It is going to be the concession stand. The concession stand is basically going to bring in a certain amount of topics that I do want to talk about, whether it's a lot of curveballs or anything like that, that basically make up for whatever the hell is going on. Red Sox, Bruins, hell, even if it's a different sport and there's some schmuck being an absolute moron, I want to talk about it. You know why? Because they're idiots. And it's enticing. It's enthralling. It's something that'll bring me to go, you're dumb. But everybody has their moments of dumb-dumbness. I sure as hell have had mine. But just to bring everybody else's, because everybody likes the point of my dumb-dumbness, I'm going to bring their dumb-dumbness to people's homes around the world. What happens when you're on YouTube? Here, take this. Hey, showcase this. By the way, have you met my soda? I may not be caffeinated. I may have not drunk one of these. I'm not even going to mention to the fact of products of what we're talking about because I am not selling out. Feel waiting for what's coming on. Anyway, to revert, first thing I do want to talk about is something near and dear to a lot of us. It affects our friends, it affects our well-being, and it affects everything like that goes around. Hell, it even affects yours truly. Okay, first off, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. What does that mean for you? Well, you could be completely sane and walk around like Homer Simpson, like, not me, I've got this. And you hold up a diploma and you're completely sane. Congratulations, you've won a contest with a non-realistic Michael Jackson. However, people like me, people like my certain friends I know, certain people that I've interacted with all over the world, they do suffer from mental illness. And it's not a fault for them. It's trauma that has happened in their lives, anything that has basically happened in their world. And to check on them, to make sure they're okay, if they're trying to reach out to you and ignoring them, just trying to be a better human being is always the best thing you can ever do. For me, I do try to reach out for as much as I can. However, I can also state to the fact within the past month to almost 2 months, I myself have been down that path of needing a friend, needing someone to like hold me up, be there and chat with me. And, you know, it is never easy doing a battle of mental health at all. So if you can do me a favor, we have a couple more days for the month of May. Even if you do it for June, July, August, especially during holidays or anything like that, check on your friends. If you haven't heard from them in a while, give them a text. It takes 30 seconds to just say hi. Doesn't even take that. It takes 10. Okay? It might take a minute and a half to have a conversation, but check on them. See how they're doing. Okay, and no to the fact of body language, everything else. They could be lying to you, saying the word fine. And if we've all seen Boondock Saints, you know fine is just another acronym of fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. I'm just saying. With that, I do bring mental health awareness to the upper echelon of what I'm talking about right now, because it is something near and dear to me. It is something that affects me. I've had people that have done not so good things during a mental health. Um, so that's why it interacts, and that's why I'm breaking the show in as I am right now. The other thing is tomorrow, today, right now, hey, um, it is Memorial Day. So we honor those who have actually served in the military, who have been injured, lost their loved ones, or otherwise. Um, I am very thankful for these men, women, people who have basically put on the uniform and done many things. And to anybody out there, don't be a dick. Okay, I say this every year. Do not be a dick. Do not go around the Happy Memorial Day. There's nothing happy about the damn day. Yes, you're happy. You got a fucking day off. Congratulations for you. Some people don't get that option. Also, some people are actually mourning a friend, which is what Memorial Day is about. Okay, it's not Veterans Day where you hug a veteran, okay, throw a wiener at somebody, like slap a hot dog and go, yes! No, don't mix them up. So many people that say, oh, Happy Memorial Day, we're talking about flags. You idiot. No, bad. Bad monkey. Ah, so, rant over, okay? Hug your friends, hug your families, and everything like that for anybody for Memorial Day. Visit a grave, visit somebody, visit anything going on. And we'll see how everything goes from there. So, as it is, welcome to Boston Concessions. Again, I'm your host, Topher. Thank you for at least getting through to the rant and everything like that. Now it's time for the fun, the excitement, the intellectual crap that is Boston sports. Why are we talking the intellectual malaise? Well, let's see. The Red Sox are looking moist. And if that drops about 5 viewers because I said that word, oops. I don't care. The other aspect to it is there's a lot of other things that are basically going on. So let's recap. It's been 3 weeks since the Celtics basically dropped everything to the 76ers, including their gas card, their wallets, their cell phones, their jewelry, and Jaylen Brown's context for whatever the hell he's thinking about right now. He's probably on the verge of having a haircut or otherwise, or who knows, he's maybe going into that stuff that just comes off his head. Um, Again, Philly just dominating at the end part of it when they got Joel Embiid back. Celtics were up 3-1, and then they just went. So, if you want to know where the Celtics are, they're at home playing golf, doing something like that. Can you actually state to the fact that Jason Tatum's late scratch with his knee syphilis would have made a huge difference? I still say no, because I know he would have played through his knee. I know it killed him to be off the court. It was not something he wanted to do, and you could look in his eyes to the fact that he looked like he was failing the team. If you don't believe me, go watch the game. Because any time that they went and focused on Jason Tatum, he looked like a lost puppy. He was not happy. He was sitting on the bench. He was not where he wanted to be. He wanted to be ball in hand. He wanted to be playing the game. He wanted to be with his teammates, winning a game 7 and sending Philly home. Where was he? With the knee. You know, and yes, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, everybody tried to contribute. Don't tell me Vucevic did. He sucked donkey nut sacks and everything in between. Ugh. So that's a vibe. But the curiosity question is, was it a right medical call to do? Do you feel that Jason Tatum should have been in the game? Do you feel that the fact that he should have went somewhere in that game and actually made a big difference for what he was doing? To me, if you want to be in a game 7, great. If you can heal by game 1 or 2 of the next series, be in there. Help your team. But if you know that you are flat as a pancake and you are not going to do any difference, don't go in. Do not come. Do not come. Go away. Go away. Sit on the bench. Relax. Focus. Next year is next year. You're only getting older. Pretty soon that man's going to be playing with Bronny. Maybe not. Anyway, little Bruins tidbit. My favorite. Okay, we are a month now from the 4-2 elimination from the Buffalo Sabres. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. Why? Well, the person that everybody wanted to blame this year and put the badge of Suckfest on his title and also his jersey, Jeremy Swayman, is actually still the finalist for the Vezina. You know what that means? Every couch fucking GM out there who actually thought, Swayman sucks this year. He's not doing shit. Why is he up for a Vezina, Captain? Can somebody tell me why the man, the myth, the everything that was also punctuating so much in the playoffs for you guys is going for a Vezina against 2 of the other top tier goalies in the league? Can someone tell me that? You can't. I know why. God dang it. It's because it's true. Everything about it is true. You know, as well as I know, that Jeremy Swayman was not the failure of the Bruins this year. The Bruins were the failure. And screw the assistant coach getting fired, by the way. This was a level of coaching not done right. Yes, I'm looking at you, Marco Sturm, who wanted to sit there and state to the fact that Buffalo should be afraid of you. You half-witted yambag. I'm not sold on Sturm. I'm not buying into the bill of goods. Get another coach in there, but until this team can protect their goalie, play proper defense, and make everything out of their offensive chances, no. And I'm not saying they can't score, because they proved the point that they can. But somewhere down the line, there is not a leader, nor is there anyone capable of controlling this team to get past a first or second round of a playoff game at this current moment. Congratulations. Throw the pinatas, raise your banner high. You made the fucking playoffs. Congratulations. Here's an Oreo, a Mento. Go sit in the fucking corner. Nobody's going to tell me to the fact that anybody wants to be happy about how that Bruins team ended. I'm not. You're not. Don't even think it. I know it. You know why? Because every single time I look at anything going on with those Bruins, they should have been better. All I'm saying. So, let's get down to the nitty gritty, huh? 15 minutes in. Everybody's got their thinking caps on because this is basically going to be a rock blockbuster of a Red Sox show. And then I've got some tidbits within the concession stand that we're really going to talk about, because that's kind of going to liven me up. And I will say this: I had a hell of a lot of fun the other night. I was at one of my favorite Chinese restaurants. If anybody in the Boston area checks out Peter Wu's in Revere, yeah, there's a reason you go in there. It's amazing. Okay, the food is good. Okay, you have wonderful atmosphere. You got to wonder what sports thing, or if they're even going to be watching Jeopardy, or hell, I've watched a Family Feud in there while I've eaten before. It's great. But when you have patrons that are sitting there chatting with you because the Red Sox are blowing it and it's all over the place, it is fantastic. Okay, so yes, I had a wonderful conversation. I had wonderful anecdotes and notes, and I just want to put it out there from Friday. It was great. It was wonderful. I was in heaven. And why? It was probably the food, because it was putting me in like some sort of coma. It's either that or the drinks. Woo! But let's get that front and center Red Sox. You ready? So, the Red Sox are sitting at 22-30. Where are they right now? Dead last. Why are they dead last? Okay? Because they're only sitting dead last in the AL East. Okay? If I pull up anything on any one of the things that shows where they are, they're higher than some of the teams in the American League. They're a couple games out of the wild card. They're still making a monumental push for anything in order to keep them in the playoffs. What does that say about everything around them? First off, the AL East is dominant. You can't say no. You can't say yes. But you have to admit that the AL East is dominant no matter what. Secondly, some people have to understand it is fucking May. I haven't sworn as much as I have, except for like one specific show, because it was F bomb after F bomb after F bomb after F bomb. And why did I do it? Because of how enraged of every bit of fiber I was during that show. I think it was season 1. It might have been season 2, but we're in season 3, so there's a huge difference. But what is the context of this? It's simple. It's easy. Okay? You just got handed by the Twins, who are mid-level grade, you just got handed a sweep, a wipe down, a brush under the rug, a excuse me, sir, this way, you are not wanted. Yes. You did wonderful against Kansas City. You made your mark against Kansas City. By the way, one of the lowest teams. And then you came into Minnesota, who is mixed with you, to where like it's couple games here, couple games here, and like if somebody goes up, somebody goes down, and you look at the Twins and the Red Sox, they're almost like this, but you just gave them 3 games. They're not in the same. They're not the East, Central, West. They're not anywhere in that with you. They are in the American League, so they could be playing for the wild card spot, but you just gave them 3 games up on everything that you do. Congratulations, you suck. And what does that mean when I say it's only May? Well, June, the Red Sox usually get into a hitting frenzy. The person I dislike most in the world, Jackie Bradley, he gets in one. Hello. His bat usually came alive end of May, beginning of June, sometime within the whole thing, and then he goes on a tirade. But then after that, he just falls to like 0.83. And by the way, Caleb Durbin still hits better than Jackie Bradley. Take his number down. You might want to understand this, because I'm actually going to give you a little bit of defense of Caleb Durbin. Okay? So anybody out there, okay, because I am a part of this group, Red Sox Nation. I'll probably tag them later, because half of these nitwitted yam bags Okay, sit there. Oh, Caleb Durbin sucks. Caleb Durbin sucks. These are the guys that are hanging off of Jackie Bradley's freaking testicle hairs that basically made him exactly what he is. He's a wonderful outfielder. Dude, he sucks. Okay? He did a louchette, a pirouette, caught a ball. Congratulations. You just got excited for a man doing a ballet dance in the middle of center field. Do you think I care? No. Why? Because he was half brained for what he was doing. He wanted everything to look good. He wanted everything to look shiny. Ooh, look, it's nice. It's pretty. It's here. Who cares? You couldn't hit. There were at times you had a flash of what your bat would be. But the topic of the reason why I bring this up, Jackie Bradley was brought up in the Boston farm system. He was shown in certain ways how to better his bat. Down in the minors, he could knock the cover off the ball. When he came up to the majors, he couldn't handle it. He was a wine bag. He was not something that you want to play with. Now enter Caleb Durbin. What's the difference between Caleb Durbin and Jackie Bradley? Here's a simple analogy. Caleb Durbin's defense is more superior than Jackie Bradley's. Why, you ask? To play a hot corner like third, especially in the manner that Caleb Durbin does it, is fucking impressive. Okay? There's a reason why they are defensive runs and they're number one in the league against defensive runs against the team. You don't teach that. That is inherited between everything that's going on. What is wrong with that? Nothing. So the point of where I'll go with this is very, very simple. Caleb Durbin is coming from the National League. Any batter, at most times, when they come from the National League to the American League, there is an adjustment period. It used to be to the fact that you'd have to deal with everything because his pitchers weren't as strong. Okay? Take Dontrelle Willis. Dontrelle Willis, when he went to the Tigers and signed that lucrative deal, everybody was farm fresh and ready to go for him. He never inherited the American League. He was never dominant like he was in the National League. Take our own Josh Beckett. We loved Beckett when we got that deal. We loved Beckett. And everything that came in with that trade. Mike Lowell. We loved it all. And Mike had some flashes of, hey, he couldn't really take a bat, but his glove was spectacular. You going to complain about that? No. Hey, Josh Beckett's first year wasn't magical either. Did he make it happen? Yeah. What happened his second year? What happened when he got adjusted after the first 2.5 months? He was Josh Beckett of what we found on the Florida Marlins and the reason why we traded for him. Caleb Durbin is coming from Milwaukee, National League team. You want to talk about Kyle Harrison and how great he's doing? Yeah. He's playing with Boston, getting all the strengths and everything that he needs, and then he's going over to a National League team. Hello? Strength in numbers, buddy. Could that guy fall off? Yeah. Do you think it might happen? Maybe. Time will tell. But it's the same thing with Caleb Durbin. Everybody wants to be in on this kid and destroy him at 26 years old. 26. The guy was a finalist for Rookie of the Year, for crying out loud. He was batting .2-something while also hitting 11 home runs last year. Give the kid a break. Milwaukee and Boston are two different lands. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, to the fact of what is giving a difference between Caleb Durbin in the American League to the National League team. Okay? Except for the fact of the market. Milwaukee. Big on cheese. Not really big on baseball. Some guys get into it. Some guys don't. Some guys like to watch it. Some guys don't. They'd rather watch cheese dry. Okay? And while they're sitting there having fun with their Goudas, their cheddars, okay, and farting up a storm with everything that they've got and taking more salt content than the water that's around them, yeah, they pitched a guy off. They basically got a pitcher and they're winning. Where are they, by the way? I'm curious. National League standings. So if I look at this, the Brewers, hey, they're in first. There you go. There's a big, huge difference. Did they upgrade the team? Did they make a big difference? Yeah. Where are the Cubs? Middle. Pirates, last. But I'm going to open another page because I want to show the American League. And this is exactly what I wanted to show as an option. Okay? Top tier teams, the Guardians are 32 and 23. The Rays are 34 and 16. The Yankees are 31 and 22. The Braves, who the fuck knew where they were coming from? They are 36 and 18. The Brewers are 30 and 20. The Dodgers are 33 and 20. Are you fucking surprised? But let's go into a lot of other things. The Red Sox are 22 and 30. The Tigers are 21 and 33. The Royals are 22 and 31. The Angels are 20 and 34. The Astros are 23 and 31. The Rangers are 24 and 28. The Mariners are 25 and 29. Do you see a pattern? The American League West, even like the Athletics, as they're winning, they are 27 and 26. They are just over 500. The Orioles being 23 and 30. They are a half game ahead of the Red Sox. The Blue Jays are 25 and 28. They are 2.5 games above the Red Sox. Does anybody see where I'm going with this? You are within 5 to 6 games of making a huge difference between an up and down plateau scenario where you're back in the game in any which way. You go on a 10-game win streak and a couple guys drop like 5 or 6 games. What are you doing? You're catching up. Everybody's making it like, oh, the Red Sox are out of it. The Red Sox are out of it. Where? It's not even halfway through the season yet. It's not even halfway through, like, the first, yeah, we're getting past the first month. And yeah, April is one of those months that if you're focused on baseball before you get out of everything else, which was basketball, hockey, and football, if you're worried about April, nobody is worried about April. Yankee fans are worried about April. You know why Yankee fans are worried about April? I think I was about to say this. Yankee fans, by the time May and June come around, if they're at the top plateau, they drop. Because what does the Yankees always do? Whatever reason, they go on losing streaks. They basically start dwindling down. They go down in every which way, shape, and form. Did anybody see that? Did anybody notice that when they do it? Yep, live viewer comments actually show up. So anybody commenting, let it know because it will show up in the bottom. I'll make it happen. Actually, we'll leave it there so like this way it can come up. Nice. But that's my point. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at everything that the Red Sox are breaking down. They're not doing horrible, considering they have one of the top tier defenses in the league. You just need to hone your hitting. You can't hone a defense. Defense is something that you do. It's more inherited. You can fine-tune your offense. You can fine-tune how you hold your bat. You can fine-tune how you hit a friggin' home run. Look at Barry Bonds. He took cream, for crying out loud. You know? There are ways you can control your bat. Okay? Trust me. Boys, your girlfriends will tell you there's ways to control your bat. Can it be done? Yes. Where do you have to start? It's easy. And Craig Breslow makes it exactly where it should be. Okay? Craig Breslow just came out and admitted the accountability for the roster falls on him. Because it is a challenging roster to manage. Now, did he inherit a mess that was left for him? Yes. Did he come aboard and deal with a disgruntled and frantic Alex Cora for what was expected for him to do when what he wanted to do with the team? Yes. So what did he do? He gave Cora an option. Let's see where we go. Let's see what we get into. It's easy. You're either going to work with him or you're going to work against him. Cora worked against him. And I said this to my father while we were having lunch today. And this is the part that I want the challenge for. And we're not going to know until next year or whenever Alex Cora takes a job. If the same features are coherent in the team that Alex Cora takes as a manager, do you know this year is going to be put under a very thin microscope to be shown where Alex Cora went wrong and what he did in this team that ruined everything, and people are going to start apologizing to Craig Breslow. Does that sound right? Does to me. If Alex Cora did wrong, which in my eyes, yeah, he did wrong. Because when I'm sitting there tagging Tony Maserati, who's a baseball nugget of everything, knowledge, everything, you name it. When I'm tagging him on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck the kids call it nowadays, and I'm saying I'm never watching a Red Sox game again until Alex Cora is gone as manager, I held my promise. Because I still can see to this day the post that I tagged Tony Maz in. Can also see the post that I tagged Tony Maserati in stating minus Chris Sale coming back because it was an exciting feature. I have not in any which way watched a Sox game until the day came down that Alex Cora was fired. So when Breslow sits there and says it's a challenging roster to manage, I'll give you some tidbits you can really use. When Alex Cora controls your on the field team and he's not doing with content where he's pushing the right narratives, it's going to fall on him. Him meaning Breslow, because he's the baseball ops guy. When you can't sign somebody because no one wants to come here. And I'll get to that in a minute. But it again falls on Breslow. When you're kicking tires to see what guy would be interested and what they would have to do, and when they're trying not to break the bank. Yes, they're the Red Sox. But you also have contracts locked in with other people, and you still have a lot of other things to go get. So can you put all your money in Pete Alonso? No. Where's Pete Alonso now? Not doing that badly. Not doing that good, but not doing that badly. Is he worth the money? Probably not for the Orioles. Hey, by the way, where's Alex Bregman doing all this time, huh? Last I checked, I don't know if it's a true rumor or not, but somebody stated that Bregman is actually now seeking a trade out of Chicago. Would I go get him? No. You didn't want to come play with us because you wanted to see what would be greener on the opposite side, especially on the ivy wall of Chicago. And now you've got egg on your face. Because if you want out, something ain't going right in Denmark, and I don't think anybody wants to be a part of it. By the way, how's Rafi Devers doing? That's another one that everybody seems to talk about. Yeah, his average went up a little bit. He's batting .245. He's got 7 home runs, 25 RBIs. That's great. Great for him. Is it still worth the money to have a .245 hitter in Rafael Devers almost making $200 million a year? No. He should have had 7 home runs in the first month. He should have been batting .245 the whole time. When he went 0 for 16 last year, and then it was even questioned to the fact of how he was starting this year. No, you need a model citizen that is going to go in, play a position, DH, first base, third base. Who cares? Go play. Touch grass. No, you made it about you. I mean, tonight he actually hit an opposite field grand slam. So 25 RBIs, well, there's 4 of them right there. Home run, yeah, that's 1. But if I had to look at his stat line, let me see his home runs. May 24th. Well, 5 RBIs and 1 home run. His last home run was the 19th against the Diamondbacks. And if I probably look at the other games, because after that, the 18th, the 17th, the 16th, the 15th, the 14th doesn't have 1. So there's your 2. So now you got to account for the other 5. And I think he had 2 or 3 when we were beginning the year. So there's 5. Now you just got to find the other 2. So somewhere between the beginning of August and the end of April and the beginning of May, he hit 2 more home runs. Does that really sound like a proper hitter that you want to pay $200 million to? I don't. Yeah, Kyle Teal's like pitching 1 point something ERA, and he's got a 5-1 he's got a 5-1 record, and he's looking good, and Kyle Harrison. I'm sorry, and everybody's talking about him like, oh, look what we gave up. Yeah. What happens if in the next 6 games he gets shelled? What happens if he goes on injury? Here's the better question that I have. What happens if Caleb Durbin actually comes back and starts hitting the cover off the ball? Problem, though, also that I do need to look at on an occasion is when you get to Craig Breslow, he has analytics in his pipeline. I'm for analytics when you want to look at certain things, when you want to look at how this guy plays, how this does, but we've all seen Moneyball. It really doesn't work. It really doesn't put a factor in. It can get you really good players for really good scenarios, But then if the scenarios don't play out, then what? Where do you go from here? But to like even look at the core four, okay? And it should be the core three, but like for whatever reason I'm writing it wrong. Jaron Duran, Weiler Abreu, Sedane Rafaela, and you can actually throw it as a four with Machizaki Yoshida, being the outfield that is the Red Sox right now. They have speed, defense, flash, and the sky's the limit with what they can do. You know, Weiler Abreu is a fun and enticing bat. Jaron Duran, everybody wants to trade him. But over the past 6 days, everybody's been quiet as a mouse. Why? Because, oh, wait, he's been hitting. He's smacking the ball. We can't say anything bad. No, of course you can't. Why would you want to? Like, what the heck? You know? This is everything you want. And then Yoshida even he hit his first home run today. Congrats for Machishaka. Like, there's a reason why like this kid makes something out of it. I think Yoshida's a really good hitter. And when the Red Sox don't use him right, especially with the crowded outfield, it's kind of a waste to Yoshida, and it's kind of doing him dirty. Like, this guy could have been like hitting the covers off balls all the time. Kind of crapped. But then you've got the Caleb Durbin problem, which I will say right now it is a problem, but it can fix itself. Caleb Durbin, he was hyped as the analytics savior. He's going to come in, he's going to hit, he's going to be able to field, he's going to do everything he needs to. So what's going on? Well, he's not adjusting to hitting. So whether it's the more powerful aspect of the American League, whether it's the East, the Central, or just the American League itself, maybe it's also to the fact that like where you had the Rookie of the Year, you didn't know his analytics, you're looking at everything he is, and then Milwaukee trades him, and now he's got sophomore jitters. Could that be possible? Could anything like that be possible? Yeah. He's hitting 163 with a brutal 502 OPS. He was benched for 3 of the last 4 games. With his benching, did they win? No. So, can't really wave a stick to the fact of blaming the kid, can you? No. But you will. That's the wonderful part of it. Ta-da! Is he doing something that can like actually magically give you defensive numbers? Yes. Do you need to work with him to get him the offensive numbers that he needs to produce? Yes. Is there always going to be a fly on the wall that is not doing or producing any which way? Well, in certain ways, when Jackie Bradley was not actually batting properly, there was a whole aspect of the team that basically came up and was rallying. They would either get hits, singles, doubles, triples, or even home runs. Jackie Bradley was going to sit down, the other guys were rounding the bases. In this case, Caleb Durbin is doing exactly that. But instead, he's flashing his leather and showing to the fact that he's worthwhile to be up here. You just have to get his hitting fine-tuned and to a point where it's going to make a huge difference for him. Caleb Durbin could be like a masterful piece. You just have to find the way to make it work. Okay? And yes, you do have an elite young outfield, and even Jaron Duran being 29 years old, it's a great thing. But when people are sitting there, and it's made me laugh, let's give up Connolly early, Jaron Duran, and there was another player. We'll just put player to be named, but I'm pretty sure I knew who the player was. And let's go to Arizona and get Ketel Marte and Nolan Arenado. Now, what is the bonus of Arenado and Ketel Marte? Well, they're veterans. And they've been veterans for years. I mean, hell, they're coming into the twilight of playing Ben Gay ball. Okay? You're going to need Ben Gay, icy hot, isotoners, everything in between in order to make yourself comfortable to get out in the field. One more year, and they're probably going to be popping pills in order to make themselves feel better about what they're doing, because they're going to need something to take the pain away from the knees, the backs, the spasms, and everything else that goes along with. Do you trade a young arm like Connolly early, and do you also trade a young aspect in Jaron Duran? No, because the player to be named is also a young and up and coming pitcher. So you mean to tell me you're going to give them all of this for two guys who are going to retire within the next year, maybe two, and not help your ball club? There's a reason why the Wilson Contreras experiment is working. Number one, he is a bona fide first baseman. Wilson Contreras was behind the plate. He made the transition to first. He is now a aspect of a first baseman, and he's making it work. You can't say otherwise. Bringing in someone like Ketel Marte and Nolan Arenado, it's going to hurt, because now where you want to see Connolly early actually going upward in your team, you're actually seeing him out the door. And where people will bitch about Kyle Harrison, you're really going to bitch about Connolly early. I mean, hell, even if you flipped it for Peyton Tolley, I'd be pissed off if anybody was actually pitching Peyton Tolley off. That's just me. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, which I am looking forward to. Garrett Crochet is actually on his way back. He is scheduled to face live hitters at Fenway Park on the 26th, which is officially tomorrow. Tomorrow in our days. But who knows when you listen to this? You could listen to this 2 days later, and boom, he's actually doing it today. If Tuesday goes well, he could throw another live batting practice. 5 days later, return to the rotation and be everything he needs to, and then some. The issue with Crochet right now is he has a 6.30 ERA across 6 starts. Was his last outing an issue with the shoulder where he got shelled on? Or is his return single-handedly going to salvage Breslow's reputation to, hey, what am I doing in the trade deadline? Am I going to need a pitcher? Am I going to need something else? Is the shoulder not working, not functioning, and I need to go get something? But it's also going to matter because July, when the trade deadline roams around, you have to see where your team is. Now, this team could be where the Blue Jays are in third place. They could be where the Orioles are in fourth. They could be exactly where they are in fifth. Hell, they could be where the Yankees are in second. Time will tell, because when June gets here, okay, which as a friend of mine says, June's here, everybody. June's here. And you're going to walk right into June. And there it is. The bats come alive. The fireworks start making a dent. You start going on 5, 6, 7 game win streaks. You take a loss. You shake it off. You go back out there. You go on more hitting streaks. You go on more winning streaks. Hell, Caleb Durbin could be hitting the cover off the ball. Do you know? No. They could be toilet water. The point of what you have to look at is when you're sitting there focused on everything that's going on with the Red Sox and where they are right now at the end of May, you're doing something wrong. And I understand where, like, the Boston Globe, the Boston Herald, 98.5, WEEI, all those sports talk stations and everybody like that wants to talk about them, they get so jittery, upset, front and center, butt hurt, problematic, wants to talk about, like, A, B, and C of how, oh, here's the negative Red Sox. Oh boy. You gotta stop. It's great to talk about things, but you're in May. You're going to be having these conversations at the end of June, beginning of July. And why are you going to have these conversations? Because they're where they need to be. You're going to talk about these because at the end of June, beginning of July, that's when the red flag starts going up. Blame Breslow all you want, okay? Put him front and center, okay? He built a roster with the glass rotation. No true veteran. Nobody controlling and maintaining third that can be able to handle it. Go ahead. Blame him. Throw everything you want at Craig Breslow. Dare you. You know something? Blame Alex Cora as well. Because you know something? Put any other person here and you're still having the same problems. And I'll tell you what the problems are. Any other general manager, any other person that is running this team to put a good playing team on this field, you're running into Alex Cora. You're running into Alex Cora who wants his guys. Not who you give him, his guys. I still have a long-standing outspoken venture to the fact that the reason why Andrew Benintendi was traded, especially when people say, oh, well, his running isn't what it seems, his bat isn't what it is. Then why did he go to Kansas City and make a mockery out of everybody that said he was soft and then get traded to the Yankees to do the exact same damn thing? Yes, he's playing for the White Sox. Yes, he's depressed because the White Sox were like the garbage team, for crying out loud, for the past couple of years. They're 26-26 right now. They're right at 500. And if I even look at it, Benintendi, if he's still in the White Sox, yeah. You know something? He's actually batting better than Caleb Durbin. But he's at least helping his team. He's putting an effort into what he's doing for his team. Who knows what he would have been if he stayed in Boston? Who knows what he would have done? But it was the same thing as you could have traded Jackie Bradley and got mountains for him. And probably kept Mookie Betts. You decided to trade Mookie. Was that one of the biggest idiotic things either one of them could have did? Yep. Then you went and traded Benintendi for a bag of dicks. I'm going to say it because that's basically what you got out of it. It was the same thing, but the only thing is you got the set of balls when you actually traded Mookie. Now, the Devers trade, nobody sit there and tell me that thing was fantastic. It wasn't. But that was a huge salary dump in order to get the guys where they needed to be and also sign players for what they wanted to be. But also give $200 million freed up for those next couple of years, because heaven forbid if you do pull somebody in. But you needed the traction, because if you were going to try to re-sign, what's his name there? If you were going to try to re-sign Bregman, you needed that money. You needed that because you would have got him and you would have been pinched. And this would have given you more flexibility to do what you needed to do with the Crochet signing, with the Christian Campbell signing, which, yes, is low money, but you still got to figure out what you're doing with the kid. Because then you're going to also have Marcelo Meyer. Brian Bello, I don't think we have to worry about, considering the fact that he can't throw a ball to friggin' hit anybody off of that friggin' water park ride. With Rafael Devers, he was turning 30. He is not the same player that will probably be where you would call him the babyface assassin or however it was, to where he's knocking the cover off the ball. He is having the worst start to his MLB career right now, okay, than he did when he was 21, 23 in a Red Sox uniform. He does not have over 10 home runs, and it's almost the quote unquote second month of the fiscal baseball year, and you don't have double digit home runs? How? Why? Where? Why would you not have this? Good questions? Yeah. Because what is going on with him? Did the Red Sox get it right? Maybe. Because here's where I knew the issues were already starting with Craig Breslow, Alex Cora, and if you include Rafael Devers. When Alex Cora didn't want to talk to his third baseman slash DH slash first baseman about playing first base last year when Christian Casas went down, it made big headlines. Why? I believe I said it on the show very, very specifically. You don't want to be a team player, don't be on the damn team. If I'm Rafael Devers, I'm to show my worth. I am now the man. I am now the guy that's getting paid. I'm the one that everybody is going to look up to, which would have been Xander Bogaerts if he was still here. But no, Rafi was still here. And instead of saying, like, hey, he went down, let me go play first. I know you have me as a DH, let me play first. You had Tristan Campbell, who wanted to learn first base. Okay? You had a lot of the other guys that looked up and said, hey, can I try playing first? I know we need a first baseman. It will give me more playing time, but I'll try it. But yet, your star, your all-star, you're the guy that you put the money up for. He didn't want to do it. What does that do to somebody? To me, especially if I'm managing a big league team, that's frying my head right there. I don't even want to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. But if that's still your guy, your boy, and you're choosing him over the organization, that's a red flag. And I think that's what Breslow's looking at. I think that's what Breslow is seeing. It's like you've got your guy, but you don't want to talk to him. He's your guy. He'll do what you need, but you don't want to direct him in the right situation. Why? Because we're looking at doing this and we're looking at stuff that we need to get situated because Tristan Casas went down. But to the alleviation of what I will say about Craig Breslow, you can't blame him for the time he has done here. He has done everything he literally can in order to get this team on the right straight and narrow and also put a team that can basically work on what they're doing. You can't do that without a star. You can't do that without having or overpaying for somebody in a method that's going to get somebody here that wants to be here. They have what's called Patriot syndrome. Okay? Drake May's first year, who wanted to come here? No one. Drake May's first year, he didn't even start. Jacoby Brissett did. And then what happened? Drake May took over. And when Drake May took over, he lighted up everything like a storm. Who was running to actually answer the call to the Patriots? Nobody. His second year, Mike Vrabel's first. Josh McDaniels back at the helm. You have the right coach, the right aspect, the right look, the right feel. And yes, I crossed over sports. I don't give a shit. But how do you compare this to it is exactly that. Who on the Red Sox are you coming to watch? Yeah, Jaron Duran is fun. Zidane Rafaela, fun. But who's giving you the pop? Who's the controlling factor in that locker room? Who's the man? Who's the alpha sitting in that room talking to every single person, getting them hyped to go out there and play the game? Chad Tracy's doing what he can. But was Cora doing it? No. Was anybody doing it? Jaron Duran was doing it because he was fed up of a lot of things, and it helped motivate between everything else he had going on with him. But he didn't want to be that person because he was putting his own stuff aside to get the team motivated. And yes, it was helping him because it was out of sight, out of mind. But you have to have somebody who wants to be there, who wants when people came here, it was playing with Dustin Pedroia, it was playing with Manny Ramirez, it was playing with David Ortiz, it was playing with the likes of Jonathan Papelbon, Pedro Martinez, insert certain guys that made mountains, especially Derek Lowe when he was dominant for certain things. There were guys that would make fun of. Why? Because I knew they were better than what they were. Hell, I gave Papelbon a nickname when he first came up. He had to earn me calling him Papelbon after a while. Why? Well, dude, when you're a new pitcher and you want me to call you by name, no, prove it. He went out there and he proved it, and I said, wow, this guy's amazing. Bought a jersey with the number 58 on it. Why? Papelbon was great. Daniel Bard, before his career went downhill a little bit because of a lot of stuff, especially injuries, he was an electric pitcher that you'd want to watch. Even Curt Schilling, for crying out loud. There's a reason why the Bloody Sock lives in Boston Red Sox lore. Yeah, Schilling's a dickbag right now. Okay, because of all the comments and everything like that. Who knows? Is he a good pitcher? Yeah. Couldn't deny it. John Lackey, as big as a crumb bum as he was, still a good pitcher. Josh Beckett. Oh, love Josh. Great dude. Beer and chicken crap, I didn't need to hear about. Clay Buchholz, John Lesser. You had a rotation that was a rotation, and you had one of probably the most prominent starting rotations in the friggin' league. Why would you not want to be a bat and come play for that? Tell me where Craig Breslow has that now. Doesn't. Why do you think he's working with Theo to build that back up? Right now, he's got Sonny Gray. Congratulations. It makes a difference. Okay, a lot of other things that also go on. You know, when you're trying to rebuild a team, the first thing you're trying to do is you're trying to get something back for where it needs to be. This is the method. Okay? You made the playoffs, you lost out on the playoffs. And now to the fact that you started the season totally abysmal to everything, but right now you're keeping in the mix with everything else around you because everybody's at a halfway point. You are not the bottom of the barrel guy yet. You're getting close, but you're not there yet. You can still fight your way out of it. There are possibilities to doing so. Garrett Crochet coming back is going to be one of those things. Getting another bat or having the bats wake up. I saw something out of the Minnesota Twins series when somebody was like, oh, see, they can't score runs. Hey, they're over 3 runs for the game. I think all 3 games. Let me check the Red Sox schedule. Red Sox and Twins. Friday the 22nd, it was 8-6. Okay, the final was 4-2 on the 23rd. It was 6-5 yesterday. And then it was 3 runs on Monday the 18th, 7 runs on the 19th, 4 runs on the 20th. So are they getting over the 3 runs now? Yeah. Gotta give them credit somewhere. But that's where it starts. Can't just sit here with all crumb bums, phonies, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, make your comments. Okay. Jarren Duran isn't hitting. The Royal Series, he actually popped up a couple home runs. Give him credit there. No, let's not. Okay. You want something tangible that works. Okay, well, let's get a team in here that can actually make something happen. Oh, they're not going to be doing anything. Okay, Negative Nancy. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Do you want the team to be good or do you want them to suck? Tell me now, because I'm not going to sit here and talk to you because it's going to be a waste of my time. What can they basically do that's going to make things better? That's what you got to worry about. That's where everything will go into play. And that's what you want to see. Ah, Red Sox talk. Woo. So I told you I was going to start a new segment, and the segment is going to consist of these next 2 items. So the concession stand is basically things that I would like, I don't like, and the reason why I'm talking about them is because like it basically drives me nuts. So my first bag of peanuts will basically be this. I've talked about it before. I've seen it get worse. I know to the fact she's now on she's on a new team, but it's not making any bit of difference. The point I will state is when you're looking at Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it's annoying the shit out of me. I will state why. Caitlin Clark is a transcendent system alerting point guard. Okay? She can shoot from almost anywhere on the floor. Okay? She changes defenses for reasons. She throws game plans out of context. Why? Because of everything she does. Is she going to shoot? Is she going to pass? Is she going to run by you? That's an open-ended. Why? Because that's what she does. Then, of course, you've got the Angel Reese consideration. Yes. Is she a physical forward? Yes. Is she an elite offensive rebounder? Ask her yourself, because yes, she is all within getting her own me bounds. Okay? She is a post period. She doesn't have any perimeter game. Her jump shot is trash. And when people want to sit there going, oh, well, the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark scenario. Angel Reese, oh, she's great. Where? I would pick her last in kickball. All right? And when I had this discussion to do a testing of this, one of the things that literally did come up was very simple. The aspect of it came into play where, are you playing the racial card? No. Because if roles were reversed, I wouldn't care. Did I play racial reversal, or did I play racial profiling when I said anything about Michael Jordan being the best basketball player on the planet, when he was playing Larry Bird, when he was playing John Stockton? No. Why? Because Michael Jordan was and is, I don't care, okay? You la-bum-bums can go see your way out the other door. Michael Jordan is still the most elite athlete on the planet. Kobe Bryant was directly behind him at number 2. Okay? Both of them, I know one of them went to college, took some time off, did everything he wanted to, dealt with a lot of other things. So when you look at, oh, well, LeBron has points. Congratulations. He won a points contest. He can score. Whoopee. He was supposed to also win multiple championships. He was supposed to have more than Jordan. That was his game plan. How can I be better than Michael Jordan? Well, you made your mark on the league. You introduced flopping. That actually made for a real good consistency. But when you make comparisons in the manner of looking at those two athletes and like everything, and then you go back to the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese conversation, there's no comparison. Okay, Angel Reese towers over Caitlin. Is she gonna get rebounds? Yeah. Does Caitlin? Yes. Can she pass the ball? Yes. Can she shoot? Yes. Can she control the floor? Yes. Does Angel Reese try to do everything that Caitlin Clark does? Yes. Does she succeed? No. Anybody sitting there believing in the, oh, what was her comment? If anybody thinks that you're watching women's basketball just because of one woman, that's false, because, you know, it's people are watching because of me too, and it's going to matter, or like whatever the hell it was. Yes. People are watching you fail. There's a reason why Kevin Durant trolls her in the manner that he does. This always been my theory. It's been any time I've watched an athlete. The one that talks, the one that gives themselves the nickname, and the one that makes themselves feel like they're inferior to everybody around them. Those are the ones that you don't care about. Those are the ones that they're here for the fame, they're here for the fortune, they're here for the glamour. They're not here for the game. Okay, Angel Reese would rather care about how she looks before and after the game than playing the game as it needs to be, but still bringing attention to her own face. It's got to be about her. That's narcissistic tendencies beyond compare. Caitlin Clark goes out there and has fun. She's sitting there signing jerseys for girls. somebody even said it in one of the aspects is you look at the Atlanta Dream. Their attendance is still down. Their attendance is still wonky, and everything that they're doing is still to a point to where like nobody cares. But if Caitlin Clark comes around, that arena is full. When you have a player that is filling seats and getting you interested in the league that is being supported by the NBA, mind you, that's a big ordeal. Yes, I'll agree with everybody to the fact that, like, yes, they should be paid equally. But do you think that happened overnight for the NBA? Do you think guys just instantly, back in, like, when the game started, oh, this is a great game. By the way, we're going to give you $20 million to play this game. I don't even think Bill Russell, who was one of the greatest, period, for how many rings, for what he went through, everything that man endured in the 60s as a black man, everything that man went through. People want to talk about Boston being racist for a moment. We embraced every aspect of what that man was in Bill Russell. And we had to go through standing with him when we would go down the South for them to play ball. You want to talk about racial profiling? It's right there. That man endured it all. Do you think he made $20 million a year? He probably made less than Angel Reese is making right now. Sometimes even hockey fans or even hockey players, if you weren't the elite of the elite, you played the year, you were well known, and you got a job during the off season. People make strides to get you where you need to be. If you think Angel Reese is the person making those strides, you gotta come correct again. She is the epitome of what you see when you're looking at everything. And like the concession stand would basically call this the quote unquote butter pecan episode. Why? Because go on TikTok and you'll find somebody that just every time Angel Reese misses, they use the comment of butter pecan. Because it happens. It's funny, it's loud, it's lucrative, but you watch it, gets you enticed. You know? Some players now that are coming into the league, especially in the WNBA, you know, Caitlin Clark is always going to be on that list. Angel Reese is still going to be on that list. Okay? Paige Butkers is going to start making her name, even though she had her rookie year basically took away from her. But she's going to start making that moment. Alyssa Thomas, an elite playmaker who broke the single season assist record. These girls throw up triple doubles like they're candy. Aja Wilson, who's the reigning MVP and WNBA Finals MVP. Nafisa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx. She puts up MVP caliber numbers and she plays defense like a pro. These are people, when you watch them, they make their mark. And like I myself, every once in a while, I'll look on, I'll check out a WNBA game. I ain't afraid to do it. The enjoyable piece of like when I even watch one is There's some things that they can do that the men can't. And sometimes it is like watching a ballet with a basketball. It's a beautiful thing. Can't take that away from anybody. But would you pay them $2 million a year right now? If I was running the league, I would look at somebody and say I'd love to. But right now, the NBA is funneling money to us so we can actually get this league going. In the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to start seeing girls get 1.2 million. Right now, they're getting hockey money. And even some of those guys are getting like $2, $3, $5, $7 million, $8 million if you look at what's his name? Uh Swayman. Some guys are making money. Some of these girls are gonna start making money. And when they start making money, that league is gonna take off. But you have to have the right proper attitude, and you also have the right proper delivery. When you come in demanding, oh, they better stop paying us money, they better stop paying us, you don't have to play for the league. You can go get a job. You don't have to play basketball. You could be like looked at like, oh, you're the one who complained. Oh wow. Well, welcome to the assembly line. That's in the direct general vicinity of how I look at it. But when people also bring up the race card with, oh, the reason why people hate Angel Reese, no, I can tell you exactly why I hate Angel Reese. I'll sit here and state it this way: if I had a daughter, which I don't, no kids, but if I had a daughter and my daughter came home to me and said, "Oh, I'm going to play basketball like that Angel Reese girl," I'd be pissed. Do you think that's a role model I want my kid like having? No. Do you think that's somebody I want to have that my kid looks up to? Who wants to charge her fans $1,000 for her sneakers that are just plain Jane white? I can go to Reebok and get the same friggin' shoe for $59. What do I need to pay $1,000 for her shoes for? Her shoes don't even sell out. Who cares? I could probably find them on a clearance rack for $39 now. But you wanted to charge 1,000. I don't even think Michael Jordan's Air Ones in a certain form get $1,000. So if you're holding your tier to Michael Jordan, go to the back of the line, please, because you're not. And one of the things I was making a comment about that still makes me laugh is the one who's quiet about the whole situation is Caitlyn. She doesn't get involved in a lot of this. And if she's asked about it, she talks about everybody. She wants what's best for the league. She doesn't care about like, if you watch her or not. She doesn't care to the fact if you're a fan of hers or not. You have that option. You have that right. You have that God-given everything. Give her credit. Give her like talent where the talent is due. That is somebody that I would want my daughter to look up to. This is a girl that you'd want to be watching. And why do you want to watch? Because she'll make you better. She'll drive you better. She'll make those standings better. She may not win in the league because it is a team sport, mind you. But she makes people watch. And whether it's watching in person or even watching, like, from home or watching replays, what are you watching Angel Reese for? Watch her grab her own rebound? To miss 3 layups? To get blocked 50,000 times? I think there's two categories that Angel Reese actually is top tier in the WNBA for. Blocked shots, and not blocked shots that she does. Blocked shots of her own shots. And turnovers. I thought the Bruins were bad during the playoffs. Angel Reese is a turnover machine. You airball the ball, it's a turnover. You go to pass to somebody, whoops, they're not there, turnover. Oh, I passed to my teammate. Nope, they weren't available, but I get the ball, turnover. And I'm going to shift gears because now I want to actually go into the men's basketball for a little bit. Has anybody watched the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the San Antonio Spurs? Has anybody watched that series? I've been watching the New York one every once in a while, but it's like, okay, don't really care. But I wanted to know if the playoffs for the NBA are actually hitting any type of like good numbers. And the NBA is projecting 14.3 billion in revenue. $14.3 billion. And the playoffs are hitting numbers that nobody's seen in 30 years. What's the point of that I look at? Well, if they're hitting numbers that they haven't seen in 30 years, who's in the playoffs? The Knicks? Cavs? So there's two teams that have always been fighting like left and right in order to show like, hey, I can handle this. Like, you know, I'm a number one contendership team and I've got the team to do it. And then on the other spectrum of the coin, when you go over to the other conference, you've got the Spurs, who really haven't been anywhere near the finals or otherwise since Tim Duncan. And then you got Oklahoma City, who just won the whole damn thing last year. Semi-new teams with one team that's still like lingering around. But as I'm watching Oklahoma versus San Antonio, I don't know what it is. Am I watching an acting class or am I watching the NBA? National Bad Actors Association. Because if the idea of the Jordan era was to show your strength, show your character, show your muster, show everything you could basically do and then some, and then you switch gears to the Kobe era, which was you could be flashy, you could be daring, you could be aerodynamic, you could be anything you want to be and more and show it. And then you get to the age of LeBron or LaFlop. Because every single video, every single thing I'm looking at, somebody, like, they're not even getting touched on the nose, but they're getting touched by an angel. Because 1 minute they're sitting there and it's like, this is how far the hand is from the face. And it's like, what happened? I think Jalen Brunson did it at one point. Guy was driving and he goes to pull to the left. I mean, he goes to the pull to the right to do like a pull-up jump shot. And all of a sudden, Jalen Brunson's going to the left. Like, he didn't even push off you. Is this a league? Is this what this has become? I'll tell you flat out. If they don't do stronger penalties for flopping, I'm getting turned off by it. Because Marcus Smart used to do it. It was one of the reasons why I hated Marcus Smart. Aside from the fact of other things. But that man would flop. It's come on, man. That just no. That is no good. It's nothing you want to do. Nothing you should do. Stop it. But he would do it. And LeBron James, oh, forget about it. Like, you would hit all ball, and he'd flailing his hands, he touched me. Like, you have no idea what Michael Jordan and the men before him, and I use the term men, these guys got elbowed. They got kicked in the crotch. I'm just talking about the Dennis Rodman fiasco, okay? But they got slapped, biffed, banged, dinged up, like thrown around, like they got clotheslined from the neck and otherwise, and everybody was touting, and there was physicality to a little bit of basketball. I think that's why in the 80s and 90s I actually liked basketball a hell of a lot more. Because when you get into like the 2000s, it was kind of like, well, it was the age of LeBron James, but like when you'd watch it, there was nothing good to watch about it. Like it was like a panty waist ass clown that if he got he was tripping over himself halfway down the court to where he fell at the other free throw line, and everybody's just looking at him like, what the hell just happened? Or the other one I like, the delay. I use this term like loosely. It was the delay. Like you'd swat and slap for the ball, and you'd hit the ball, and then all of a sudden, like someone would just go, oh, like they got hit in the nose, or they got hit in the lip, or hit in the face, or poked in the eye, and it was like 2 minutes later, and it was like, oh God, my face. So you didn't even get touched. What the fuck is the matter with you? And then show the replay, and like, yeah, it would be like, whew, right by the face. Nothing was touched. If anything, there was like a hair. It was a hair foul. Like you just touched that man's hair. Foul on you. And they granted. Oh, how horrible. Like how can you sit there and freely? No. I couldn't. I don't know what the league's idea is. I'm grateful to the fact that, like, they've got a plan. They're going through everything, and like, San Antonio just blew out Oklahoma City 103-82. They even the series at 2 apiece. But I said this one day when like someone was like, "Oh, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, man, what a player!" I'm like, yeah, what a flopper. And none other than Jaylen Brown comes out and makes comments about it because he sees Shea's game. And somebody on TikTok brought it to, like, when I was doing the research in order to talk about this, because one of the biggest people to flop around is SGA. Do you know that SGA was a no-show in the Olympics? Because the Olympics are not like the they're definitely not like the WNBA. But the Olympic basketball team is not like the NBA at all. it's like the NBA of the 80s and 90s. You have physicality. You have guys like throwing around shoulders. You know, guys will throw an elbow or two and like hit you in the stomach, the sternum, the ribs. Like, you know, they'll hit your knees. Like, it's hard hitting basketball. The only difference is you don't have a club to where you can't biff them over like a baby seal and call it a day and then score. So, where was SGA during this whole thing when he played for Team Canada? He was non existent because he couldn't get calls. Because guys didn't want to, like, he would push off, but they would be standing right there, standing their ground, and the ref isn't calling it. Nobody cared. It was basketball. You're going to get biffed, dinged up, everything in between. If it's small, like if you're also doing that shoot thing where you're going into a body to draw a foul, it's it's one thing where like you pump fake and then you go up to take the shot. That's great. But when you're forcing your body, to me, that's an offensive fucking foul. Like, hey, I'm jumping. The guy's like already committed to jumping up. And what's the first thing you do? You go into them. Did I miss something? How is that a foul on somebody else when you went into their body? And then you can even see when they go to shoot and do everything and push off themselves, they flop like fish. I've seen more flopping in a fish market than I have in this game. Or I'm sorry, it's actually the other way around. I see more flopping in the game than I do at a fish market. And the fish are just freshly dropped in there, so you know they're going to be like, blah, 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 blah. I don't mind basketball. It is not one of my strongest sports I talk about. Because if you talk to me about someone like Dennis Rodman, where he was probably one of the most prolific rebounders that you could ever watch and see, where you talk to me about the Admiral David Robinson, where he was one of the best big tall men to like actually play the game. He had a beautiful skyhook. He had everything you wanted and then some. He could score almost anywhere on the floor, and he was the potential perennial big man that would basically get so many blocks and rebounds, and he controlled his team. Then you get Akeem Olajuwon, who also had a beautiful skyhook. Oh my god, this dude played the game. Clyde Drexler, perfect example. He was an airman, and he played until like what? He was like 35, 40. And think about everything he went through when he was playing for Portland. That man got banged up more than anything. John Stockton, Karl Malone, they were thrown all around all over the place. And they had a really good, balanced team. And Stockton and Malone were the perfect 1-2 punch in order to lead the team. But then you went up against Jordan and the Bulls. Pippen, B.G. Cartwright, Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman when he was there. You also went up against teams like the Pistons. Nobody wanted to play the Pistons. Bill Laimbeer would elbow you for a beer and probably a bag of peanuts. And he also played very, very dirty. Even Isaiah Thomas, not the Isaiah Thomas that played for the Celtics. I'm talking the original Isaiah Thomas, number 11, Detroit Pistons. He was a dick. He was the perennial dick. Everybody said it. Oh, if you had to go into Detroit and you had to play the Pistons, Isaiah Thomas was a dickbag. And he knew it. We knew it. And then when you even like watch, what was it, the Jordan thing on Netflix? Break that down too. Like everyone, yeah, playing Isaiah Thomas. He was a dick. And he even said it like, yeah, I was a dick back then. I didn't want to shake their hand. I was fucking lost. I don't care about them. Dick bag. It goes to show like what he is, how he is, who he is. Then you look at everybody else. Patrick Ewing was one of those guys that he was a dominant force, but if you also pissed him off, friggin' he let you know it. You know, Charles Barkley threw his weight around, telling people how terrible they were, but he was also that perfect power forward. He scored, he got rebounds, he knew how to handle the ball, he knew basically how to handle the court. And even he would say, because even when Shaq came in, nobody wanted to screw with Shaq because he was all purebred muscle when that man got drafted. You think to the fact that like him breaking a backboard was false and fake, and everybody, oh yeah, well they rigged that thing. How? You don't you. I had this argument when I was a kid, and the argument was my late cousin, God rest him. He loved Shaq, and I was a huge Penny Hardaway fan. And there was the day that he went up and pulled down the board, and like it just shattered all over the place. And then the following day, like read the newspaper and reading about Shaq and like how he broke the backboard, and then somebody sits down, they're looking at the paper, they're looking at you, and you're reading that. It's like, yeah, Shaq broke the backboard. It's great, isn't it? That was staged. How? I still, to this day, to anybody who says it was staged, I'll still hold dear till I actually tell somebody, for someone to tell me how that was staged. Because it wasn't at the beginning of the game. It was what, the second or third quarter? You got guys that are dunking. You got guys that are like, shooting twos, shooting threes, hanging off the rim, doing everything you're doing, and that thing is not breaking away. Here comes Shaq. Power dunk, pulls the freaking thing down. Did somebody do a Houdini and just go, whoop? We got a new one. It's actually an old one that we're gonna break. You can't. Because you have what? 20,000, 25,000 people, 30,000 people in an arena? Oh yeah, let's get this one in. Here comes the second quarter. Shaq's gonna break it. Where? Where is he gonna do that? It was a good thought. I completely blew over my time. I don't care. I really don't. But flopping. If I want to see flopping, I'm gonna go down to like the Salem Willows, find a fish, just watch it go. One of the reasons why I'm watching I'm at least checking out the Cleveland New York series is just the teams themselves that they're perfectly matched. I like it. Maybe that's what's enticing me. But yet, if I look at San Antonio and Oklahoma City, I'm just watching someone get like slap dueled, and right from there, it's like, I challenge you to a duel, biff. And you're not even touching the guy to biff him, and he's like falling back into the concession stand. It's like, dude, get up! You're ruining my hot dogs. Jerk. Like the Wiener of the Month award right there. Ugh. I don't get it. If anybody like actually watches this, do me a favor. If you see the show on Twitter, like, or you basically click the link or anything like that. If you do see it, go down and comment about like what you hate. Because if it's flopping, great. I want to know. If it's something that like you don't watch a sport because of insert this ass thing here or something that you purely hate, I want to know. And the reason why I want to know is I hate basketball for that reason because they haven't got it controlled, and then even the referees have their head halfway up their ass, and you don't know which way to like present itself. So to me, it just turns the game off. Like it just if it was a sexual encounter between me and the NBA, I'd be turned off and I'd want my money back. And like, I'd just walk out of the room. Not stating the fact that I pay for anything, but that's how I feel. You know, tennis is only so much that you go boom, boom, boom. You know, I mean, even hockey sometimes. Like I love the physicality of hockey, but then you get too many penalties and too many calls. Somebody wants to fight, and then all of a sudden you get the referee involved, and it's like, dude, you just let them fight. No, 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 we can't do that. Like, shut up, let them fight. Stop it. You know, I don't want to go through this. I just want to watch them fight. Even baseball, where it used to be just a relaxing sit down, watch the game. You're around grass, you're around people who are socializing, enjoying the game. Now you got people that sit there on their phone 2/3 of the time, and this is also with any game. But a lot of people, especially when they're hit with a foul ball, now I can't go there because I've got a net in front of me. And I understand it's safety for the other people. Do yourself a favor. You made so many comments and everything like that to where you have to be understandable of foul balls. You have to be understandable of like flying bats, flying balls, people diving into the stands. You may have an interaction or two or three or somebody at one point before the 2004 World Series touched Johnny Damon's ass. Everybody was happy. Now you can't do that. Now you got this net that controls everything. And I've sat there and stated like it's pointless to have. If everybody puts their phone down, pays attention, and knows the fact that hey, you got a ball coming at you, okay? Because instead of being one moment, one moment, one moment, okay, whack. 3 days later, he comes out of his coma. What happened? Well, you picked your head out of your phone, and the minute you said look up, it was like I got it, and yeah, you just got whacked by a ball. If you put your phone down, you would have been able to actually watch and deflect because the ball would have been coming up. You would have hit your hands. You would have been able to watch the remainder of the game. Get your money's worth. Sitting there with a phone looking at everything is not getting your money's worth. I had tickets to Philadelphia Flyers, Boston Bruins, and I paid astronomical for them because it was a playoff game. And there's 3 girls under the age of 20, had to be between 16 and 18. And they're making kissy faces with each other. They're using their phones. Everything going on. And next thing you know, they're standing up during the game and they're taking photos. And I just looked at my friend that I was sitting with. I'm like, is this happening? I came to watch a game. I didn't come to watch this. And it was fine for the first period. And I figured, okay, they got their ambiance, they got everything else. They're going to stop. They just kept on going. Next thing you know, someone's FaceTime, they're talking on the phone during the game, and you could see 18 patrons around them getting annoyed because this one girl is talking with a boy, and it's so cute. And I'm at the game, sweetie, and then comes my blaring voice. Talk to him and fuck him when you get home. Get the fuck off the phone. I didn't pay no $200 to sit my ass down here listening to you make smoochies with some idiot on the other end. Could I have said something a little better? Yes. Was I heavily annoyed? Yes. Did I just have 3 girls that have now just decided to scream bloody murder at me? Yes. Did the section come to my defense? Yes. When you do something that annoys everybody around you, you don't pay $200 or you don't have dear old daddy pay your seat. So you could say, I went to the game. Look at me. I got a jersey. I saw Patrice Bergeron play. That's great. If you really knew how to present yourself to Patrice, you'd be sitting your ass in your seat, not focused on your phone, and screaming, get him, throw him up against the boards, hit the puck, pass it, shoot, hey, you scored. That's proper hockey etiquette, not the other way around where it's, I don't ever want to see that face. A lot of stories I could probably tell you about the Boston Garden and everything, but that might be for another concessions, because you know something? It's about 1:56 a.m. and I'm going to bed. Maybe. A couple other things to do. To everybody out there in the land, this is Boston Concessions. I do want to thank you for joining us. Please give your love to the family and friends of your military guys who've lost loved ones and everything for this Memorial Day. My heart goes out with them in every which way, and I thank them for their service, their gratitude, and everything in between. To the folks again fighting the good fight, with, of course, May being Mental Health Awareness Month, you are not alone in the fight. We're all in this together with you. Some people have it, some people don't, but we're still here with you. And on that note, this has been Boston Concessions. I have been your host, Topher. I'm going to call it a night. I am going to be back relatively shortly, probably in the next 2 days or so. Because it is coming up to the fact of like June 1st. There is an AJ Brown watch. Hasn't really been anything. Plus, I'm also not going to be one of those guys who talks about Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's throwing his dick in a potato. I don't care. Okay? Anybody out there who does sports talk radio, if you want to talk about Mike Vrabel and where he puts his dick, you're not talking the right stuff. If you want to talk about whatever her name is, because I don't even remember, about who goes into her vagina, unless it's talking trades, unless it's talking football, who won, who did this, I don't care. So on that note, to everybody, good night, and we'll reopen the concession soon. Have a good one, guys.